No matter what you say, we are in the middle of a Wednesday night war. And of course, it would be nice if everybody could just enjoy it, but we're not allowed to do that because this vocal minority comes up from its hole once a week and it's all like, you must pick a side. Pick a side and die with your choice. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers, and to be honest, it's absolutely crazy. We can watch both. Hey ho, as long as you're happy. The thing I want to talk about today is that there has been plenty coming of goings over the last 8 months or whatever the hell it's been, but one has now become more glaringly obvious. And I will say here that I'm kind of both for and against this idea, but that's what makes it so damn interesting. But yeah, right now WWE is making a damn bad long-term mistake. Why? Here's why. What am I talking about? Simple. If we get in our time machine, the DeLorean, thanks to Doc Brown, and head back to a time before NXT appeared on the USA Network, things were just so straightforward. If you were a bit bored of Raw, or you were a bit bored of SmackDown, or they weren't giving you your wrestling fix, WWE had an alternative on Wednesday nights on the WWE Network, and as well as that, it was a place for Triple H to cut his teeth. That was so important because it gave you a reason to tune in. If you weren't down with everything happening on Fridays or everything happening on Mondays, here was your alternative, and sure, it had WWE written up there, but it also had NXT, and that made all the difference. It didn't feel the same at all. Cut forward to October 2019, and all of a sudden, there was a new kid in town, and everything had to change. Now, let's make it clear here, it doesn't matter which one you prefer, or which one you don't prefer, or which one you want to live, and which one you want to die. It's about what happened after this moment that we must focus upon. Because what matters is that it did change how NXT was structured, because from World Wrestling Entertainment's point of view, it had to be. When it was made clear that NXT was actually going to go neck to neck with AEW, aside from zooming forward, all of a sudden we were transported back to the late 90s with shots being fired all over the place. Like Triple H called All Elite Wrestling a pissant company, so Cody came out of the show and he broke a throne. AEW announced a 2-week event called Fyter Fest just recently, so NXT came back with, alright fine, we'll do a 2-week event and we'll call it the Great American Bash. And it's not like they're not admitting to this. The game even did an interview recently where he said, hey man, we had to do what we had to do, and that's why GAB, as some people shorten it to, came about. If they were going to do fortnightly stuff, then so were we. So it did affect things, or namely, it affected NXT. And this is where you may disagree with me, but this is the conversation I want to have. Because ever since these things are happening, I kind of feel like AEW has just been doing their own thing. They have a long-term plan, they know the stories they want to tell, and they are taking their time. Whereas when you look at NXT, the new competition, I kind of feel like they've moved things around. For example, Keith Lee versus Adam Cole. Now, look, don't get me wrong. Keith Lee deserved to win that match, and he deserves to be a double champion. In fact, he has deserved that the second he walked in the door. I remember the first time I saw Keith Lee in action, I felt stupid because this man was so good, and I was like, I'm meant to be a wrestling fan, and it's taken me this long to discover this human being. I went home and I stuck my head in the toilet as a punishment. Not true, but I would have done. But to try and pretend that this wasn't a short-term decision or a last-minute decision is kidding ourselves, especially when you look at all the other world champions NXT has had. I mean, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa's feud went on for approximately 642 years, because that's what NXT used to do. You take things slowly, you build, you peak at a takeover, the belt change hands, and you do it again. But that is not the way in 2020. In fact, here, Lee won a number one contenders match, and then a couple of weeks later, he was holding all the gold. And once more, right now, as of this second, it's working because it allowed NXT to pull the total viewership number up. I'm not going to talk about demos today because it just makes me want to smash my face into the floor. But yes, while it may work here, is it really going to work in the future? Or once again, are we running too fast? So I mean, think about it for a second. Was this how the promotion was meant to operate when it was first moved into existence? I would say it was not. And this is what I mean by long term. While it's an absolute blast for us the fans because we keep getting all this content, is NXT moving a little too quickly, and are we rushing through matches at a rate that we wouldn't be doing otherwise, and that means we're just gonna run out. We already need a new developmental league because ain't no one gonna tell me that's what NXT is anymore. And I do kind of feel that if you enjoyed what they were selling, either a year or a couple of years ago, then maybe now it's not necessarily your cup of tea. Delish. This isn't exclusive to WWE either. I'm not taking shots at them. You can see plenty of examples of this no matter the company. I mean, go and read up about New Japan Pro Wrestling in the early 2000s and about not giving the fans what they want. If you only know the modern day New Japan, it will blow your damn mind. And right now, yes, I get it. That's not the issue at all. NXT numbers are going up and that will make everyone very happy. But I do kind of feel like you've been hot-shotting, and you know what other shows hot-shot? Raw and SmackDown. And you know what other shows are now paying for that hot-shotting? Yes, the answer is Raw and SmackDown. Eventually, it always bites you in the ass. Have you ever been bitten in the ass? It really hurts. And it's kind of embarrassing. And there's other bits of evidence to all of this too, much like Charlotte Flair. I was all behind Charlotte Flair going to NXT, winning the championship, because I thought that ultimately it was going to benefit Rhea Ripley. But now here I stand in July 2020, and that's not the case. Charlotte has left that brand, and I'm left scratching my head. And sending the likes of Sasha Banks and Bayley down there is awesome, but it does mean the spotlight is taken away from someone else that probably needs it. And if you wanted to tell me the likes of Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, or Kevin Owens felt like a bigger deal than the current crop of NXT guys, well, I think there's an argument to be had. And I get why WWE is doing this. I'm not being stupid here. They want to beat out the new guys, and as of right now, just to double down on this, it is working. But the follow-up is, will it be doing so in a week, in a month, in a year? We don't know. Or will the troubles that have affected some of the other shows actually start to show their face here? I don't know the answer, but I can see the logic, and that's why I find it so interesting and why it makes my brain go, huh. Ultimately, right now, we, the fans, are benefiting from all of this the most, and nothing counts more than that. And if both companies can get you channel hopping or watching one on a Wednesday and then following up on a Thursday, then I say tickety-boo. That's perfect. It's a world that I want to live in, and it's a world that didn't exist a year ago, so this to me is a bit like a wonderful dream. But you gotta play your own game, and you gotta play your own cards. I mean, it's like any kind of sport. If you try and outdo another team 9 times out of 10, they will actually find a way to outdo you. But if you play to your own strengths, long term, there's that word again, you're gonna see a massive benefit. You come out the other side smelling of roses, and do you know who enjoys the smelling of roses? That's right, it's Angel Garza, who was also plucked from NXT and put on Raw for absolutely no reason. And that's weird too, right? Because we saw him propose to his girlfriend, so in kayfabe, we are meant to think that Angel Garza is engaged, and yet every single week, he's just hitting on Charlie Caruso. I think that kind of makes my point better than everything else I've said. Choose your path, stick to the plan, and then see where you end up. It's all about direction. And yeah, of course, an audible here and there is fine. You've got to be able to call an audible, but do audibles get you to the Super Bowl? No, they do not. Apart from on the odd occasion that they do, which again, sums all this up. I don't know if it's a help, I don't know if it's a hindrance, but my word, we are gonna find out. Been reliably informed that audibles have won many a football game, and I know this, I do watch America. It was just a saying. I was just trying to add a bit of poetry to the video, which is fine. Ding, gonna push my button. Now you can't get mad because I'm now going down the lift. It's my lift music. Just want to make a point. Just want to make a fun video. Didn't mean to upset anyone, and I got people yelling at me. Also, it's not a real lift, so right now I'm really hurting my knees. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below, and yes, let me know what you think about all of this, and I am ready to get involved in that mayhem. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to What Culture Wrestling. It's free, and all it takes is click. Your finger will appreciate it. Then you can head over to whatculture.com, where you can read articles like this and get even more opinions. You can follow What Culture on Twitter, What Culture WWE, and stay up to date with wrestling news. And you can watch more videos here on What Culture Wrestling, so your whole life is just wrestling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yes. My name is Simon for What Culture. Thank you for watching the Why series, the show where I ask why, slap my head, and then try and give you the answer. But again, it's devil's advocate. It's about trying to open your own mind up to potential solutions, potential conclusions, and potential pathways. Again, I love AEW, it rocks. I love NXT, it rocks. I think Triple H is doing a great job. Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, all these guys are kicking ass. But we don't know what's going to happen in 2021. We don't know what's going to happen in 2022. But I tell you who does need to know, or at least have an idea, it's everybody I just mentioned. If you keep hopping around like a frog, well, you ever played Frogger? You try and get across the road, boom, you get run over, and now you're dead. And unlike those crazy people on the internet, I don't want anyone to die. I want us all to be alive, like Frankenstein's monster. Not Frankenstein, that was the scientist that made the monster, made the creation. you got to be able to make that distinguishation. What was that? Distinction. End the video.